Shalom, friends, and welcome to Walking the Ancient Path, where we journey back into the language, landscape, and life rhythms of the Scriptures in a lighter, more accessible way, exploring the world of the Bible as its original listeners would have experienced it. Today we're going to pick up in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 9. But concerning brotherly love, you do not need that I write to you, for you yourselves are taught by God to love one another.
Now, about brotherly love. There is no need for me to write, for you yourselves have been taught by Elohim to show covenant love to one another.
Brotherly love. The Greek word Philadelphia means love of siblings. In Hebrew imagery, this is the clan bond of a hava, representing loyalty and care flowing like sinew holding the body together. You do not need me to write. Their lived practice already shows it. In Hebrew terms, the fruit on the tree reveals what kind of root it has. Taught by God. The phrase theodidactoi is uncommon and impactful. In Hebrew imagery, it's like Yahweh himself carving the teaching directly into the heart, not through parchment but through his spirit. To love one another. The command given from Sinai and renewed in Yeshua. Covenant love is the defining mark of Yahweh's people. Hebrew imagery. It is like oil poured on the head that flows down to every part of the body, binding the clan in harmony.
Verse 10. And indeed you do show it toward all the brothers who are in all Macedonia. But we urge you, brothers, to increase more and more.
And in truth, you are already showing this love to all the brothers throughout all Macedonia. But we urge you, brothers of the clan, to let it overflow even more and more.
You do show it. Their love is not just talk. It's demonstrated through actions. Hebrew imagery favors deeds over words. Love shown like fruit ripening on a branch. Toward all the brothers in all Macedonia. Their covenant loyalty extends beyond their own village, binding the larger community of believers like caravans from many tents gathering under one banner. But we urge you to increase more and more. Paul calls them not to settle, but to keep overflowing. A well that keeps rising. A river that cannot be contained. Fields producing harvest after harvest.
Verse 11. And that you aspire to lead a quiet life, to mind your own business, and to work with your hands, just as we commanded you.
And make it your aim to live in quiet rest, to tend to your own matters, and to labor with your hands, just as we commanded you.
Aspire to lead a quiet life. The Greek phrase literally means being eager for stillness. In Hebrew imagery, it's like resting beneath the vine and fig tree, content under Yahweh's covering, free from restless striving. To mind your own business, while Hebrew thought depicts stewardship, guarding one's own tent, flock, and field rather than meddling in someone else's. Each family bears responsibility for its own portion. Work with your hands. A profoundly Hebrew image. Hands are meant for labor, plowing, weaving, building, crafting. Using them faithfully aligns with creation's order. Work is not shameful but a covenant, joining Yahweh's creative rhythm. Just as we commanded you, the apostles had already set this example. In Hebrew imagery, commands are not just abstract rules but living instructions, like a father teaching his son to properly tie the ropes of a tent.
Verse 12. That you may walk properly toward those who are outside, and that you may lack nothing.
So that your footsteps may be honorable before those outside the clan, and that you may live in need of nothing.
Walk properly. In Hebrew imagery, walking symbolizes daily behavior. To walk properly is to keep one's steps straight, like footprints in firm soil that others can follow without tripping. Toward those who are outside refers to people not part of the covenant community. In Hebrew imagery, outsiders are like neighboring tribes watching from beyond the campfire. How the clan acts either honors or shames the God they serve. Lack nothing. The image depicts sufficiency, not luxury. In Hebrew thought, it echoes the shepherd's psalm. I shall not want. The aim is to live with enough, through honest work, free from dependence that could dishonor the covenant witness.
Verse 13. But I do not want you to be ignorant, brothers, concerning those who have fallen asleep, lest you sorrow as others who have no hope.
But we do not want you, brothers of the clan, to remain without understanding about those who have fallen asleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the nations who have no hope.
Ignorant. The Greek agnoin means without knowledge. In Hebrew imagery, it's like walking a dark path without a torch. Paul wants to give them light so they won't stumble in confusion. Those who have fallen asleep. Sleep is the Hebrew way of referring to death, using a gentle but clear image. The dead are described as lying down to rest, waiting for the call to rise like soldiers camped before the dawn's trumpet. Lest you sorrow as others. Grief itself is not denied. What Paul contrasts is the despair of those outside the covenant. Their sorrow is like ashes with no fire left beneath. Who have no hope. Hope, tikva in Hebrew, is a cord, a tether of expectation. Those outside the covenant have no cord to hold on to, drifting loose, but Yahweh's people are bound by hope to the day of resurrection.
Verse 14. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so God will bring with him those who sleep in Jesus.
For if we trust that Yeshua died and then rose again, so also we believe that Elohim will lead forth with him those who have fallen asleep in covenant with Yeshua.
If we believe, in Hebrew imagery, trust, emunah, is not just faith in the mind but steady reliance, like leaning all your weight on a staff that won't break. Jesus died and rose again. This is the core image of the covenant. His death is the lamb laid down. His rising is the seed bursting from the earth in new life. Even so, God will bring with him. Hebrew imagery depicts a shepherd returning to camp with all his sheep trailing behind, none missing. Yahweh does not leave the dead behind but gathers them into the caravan of the Messiah. Those who sleep in Jesus, once again, sleep softens death with the hope of the covenant. In Hebrew thought, to sleep in Yeshua means to rest within his tent, awaiting the call of resurrection at dawn.
We'll pause here and continue in our next chat.
If you listeners have areas of interest you'd like to explore further, questions, or comments, please don't hesitate to let us know.